Most men don't realize this, but your woman is fantasizing during segs. Can't say anything until the 8-minute mark. And right now, it's probably not about you.
We're going live, baby.
We'll do it live.
You're listening to the premier podcast for men who want to not only be better with women, but want to be better men in general. This is the Come On Man podcast. And here's your host,
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer. He is a certified master life coach and NLP practitioner.
That's right, baby. Happy Monday, folks. Nurse Chick and I spent the weekend with Wolfpack brother Dan at his yak ranch this weekend. It was good catching up with him. Dan and I actually grew up together, and his older brother is my best friend since kindergarten. So good times. Anyway, if you guys are new to the channel, my name is Paul Bauer, and I help men level up and get better with women. And the funny thing about doing that is it tends to make us better men in all areas of our lives. Did you know that most long-term relationships slowly drift into boring routine segs? I can't say the real word. We can't be adults until the 8-minute mark. It's scheduled, it's predictable, and passionless. You're going through the motions, not creating magic. This doesn't just affect your segs life. It erodes emotional intimacy. Without mystery, your girl mentally checks out. That's how attraction dies, even in the most loving relationships. But when a man understands the power of fantasy, when he knows how to introduce play, role, and mystery, everything changes. Today, I'm going to show you how to use that fantasy, not just for that hot segs. Doesn't sound hot when I have to say it that way. But to reconnect deeply with your girl. Before we get into it, though, do be sure to, where are we at here? Do be sure to like, subscribe, hit those notifications. I have new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This Wednesday's episode is going to be pre-recorded. In fact, I got to try to pre-record it later today because Wednesday I'm having surgery on my knee, but we have new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, Friday without fail. So that means I got to pre-record that one. But anyway, guys, if you were watching live right now, sound off in the chat. I want to hear from you, and consider sending a super chat or just a decade or two. I know y'all have the money. Y'all are sending $500 super chats to these gaming girls out here that are moderately attractive. Okay, I get it. I don't look like Melanie Mack. All right, but throw your boy a couple of decades or two. You don't have to send me $500. But I swear, man, like $500 is better spent on coaching than it is just sending money to some hot gamer girl hoping that she'll throw you a bone or something. Because guess what? Melanie Mack's not going to throw you a bone, pal. You're not that guy. You're not that guy, pal. All right. I just like pointing out that there's simps out there. That's really what that's all about. All right, let's talk about the problem with long-term relationships. Segs. We're not the 8-minute mark. The average couple's segs life becomes structured, repetitive, and dull within 1 to 2 years. Right? It's pretty hot and heavy in the beginning. Y'all are ripping each other's clothes off. You can't wait to see each other. Everything's fresh. It's new. You guys are excited. And then after, the honeymoon phase wears off, now it's just boring and predictable. You're just going through the motions. You come home after work and she's there and you just, watch TV and then, oh, hey, it's time for bed. It's sexy time. And then that's when you try to turn her on. You're not trying to seduce her the whole time. You're not flirting with her anymore. You're not doing all that stuff that made her all hot and bothered and gave her that anticipation in the beginning. Right. And biology and routine, they're to blame for this. When God, I hate this. So when segs becomes expected, it loses that psychological edge, right? It's not as exciting anymore. It's not like this awesome thing that you're looking forward to. It's just something that you end up doing. I mean, for guys, we still like it. We still are like really into it. We still, are hoping that we get it all on the regular, right? But women aren't the same. Like when it stops being fun and exciting for them, now it becomes a chore, it becomes duty, it becomes maintenance, right? It's not exactly blowing her skirt up anymore. And then guys wonder like, why? Well, or they start blaming it on marriage, right? Like, oh, the quickest way to have a girl lose interest is put a ring on it, stuff like that. It's like, no, that's not necessarily it. It's because you guys stopped doing all the attractive stuff you were doing in the beginning, all the fun and exciting things in the beginning. And women, particularly, they need that psychological stimulation to stay turned on, right? For a woman, man, what's his name? Huds from the Dragon Ship. I used to be on a panel show called the Dragon Ship that was ran by our mutual friend, RP Thor. Well, Huds used to say it all the time. A woman's G-spot is really up here in her mind, right? It's really you getting her in her head thinking about the fantasy of it all is really what gets her turned on. And if you can't stimulate her mind during the act, now it's just all mechanical and she's hoping you get it over with quickly. And she's like, are you done yet? Are you done? Oh, this is so hot and heavy. Are you done yet? Right? The body responds to novelty. Okay. They like that. They like that. When you create an experience for them. Without that fantasy, desire turns into duty, and duty just isn't sexy, right? Now you'll see a lot of these women relationship therapists and coaches talking to women about how you need to have maintenance segs in a relationship. You got to, in order to keep your relationship thriving, honey, you got to have that maintenance segs. Make sure you schedule it, so that you're giving your husband or your boyfriend what he needs. Okay, but when women have to do that, when they have to create that maintenance schedule in order to keep the relationship alive, now it becomes a chore. Do you see how that can become a chore? Where she's got to pencil you in as like one other thing that she's got to do on her checklist of things to do. Oh, I got to go to the grocery store today. I got to clean the house today. I've got to run some errands. I've got to take the dog to the vet to get his checkup. Oh, and I got to pencil in my man for his weekly duty sex. Like now we're past the 8-minute mark. I can say that. Do you see how that might not be as stimulating for her? You see how that might not be fun for her? Now it's work. Now it's a chore. You guys see this? Are you guys, okay, hopefully. Now here's the thing, media in the prawn. I still don't want to say the real word even after the 8-minute mark here, because then YouTube will demonetize me, right? But media and the thing that rhymes with corn, it shapes fantasy, but most men never learn how to apply that fantasy in real relationships, right? So a lot of guys, this is a big problem for guys too, right? Because they're not stimulating that in their girl. They'll go out and watch a lot of porn videos and they'll get that fantasy, but they don't know how to apply that to their girl to make her want to do those dirty, filthy things. And so they're not doing that. She's not stimulated at all. So she's providing the duty sex, and it's boring for her. And what's she doing? She's reading dirty, trashy sex novels to try to get that stimulation for her, right? A lot of women aren't necessarily watching corn videos. They're reading dirty, cheesy sex novels for that same thing. So when she finally does do the duty sex, she's not thinking about you, bro. She's thinking about the hot, long-haired, blonde, buff guy from the cheesy sex novel. right? Women do actually, there are studies that show women do watch corn videos, and when they do, a large amount of those, just this is I think Cornhub released some stats a few years ago that says that when women do watch it, the number one thing that they're looking for is grape videos. Women fantasize about being dominated in the bedroom a lot. Like that's their number one fantasy. Why do you think 50 Shades of Grey sold so many copies? You know what I mean? But most of you guys aren't taught that. You guys are told, oh, women want to be romanced and they want to make love. They don't want to be absolutely ravished, right? But that's not what women fantasize about. If you guys ever read Nancy Friday's book, My Secret Garden, like that is like the biggest thing that women fantasize about. In fact, women in My Secret Garden, they are way dirtier than you'll ever imagine. I couldn't even finish that book. That's how gross it was. I was like, geez, ladies, find Jesus. Y'all need Jesus, man. Anyway, one thing that you cannot do, if you want your girl to be a dirty birdie in the bedroom, but a lady in the streets, you can't shame her for her sexual fantasies. You can't. You've got to make her feel like this is normal and make her feel good about it and make her like, you want to inspire that in her. Because if you shut it down and you make her feel like she's dirty and that you're judging her, she won't do any of those things for you. Okay. All right. So some consequences of not addressing this. You get emotional detachment from your girl. You get your girl cheating on you. She's looking for something more exciting because you're just not blowing her skirt up anymore. Or just a complete total disinterest in sex. I'll tell you what, women aren't 100% totally disinterested in sex. They're just 100% totally disinterested in sex with you. Okay. They're still going to get it somewhere else. They're either going to get it from Chad or Tyrone down the street, or they're going to get it at the very least from a dirty, trashy sex novel and a vibrator. Okay. They're not going without. They're just not interested in you anymore because you're not stimulating them anymore. All right. Guys, do follow me on social media. The links are in the description. I'm on all the good platforms. I'm trying to build up my X account. But I'll tell you what, don't just follow me on X if you're not going to be on X. If you don't normally go on X, follow me on one of the other social media platforms. Okay. I'm not just trying to artificially inflate my X account. Guys, grab the free ebook. She's Made You Weak. If you haven't gotten it already, it's in the description. It's the top link in the description. It explains why attraction tends to erode over time in a long-term relationship. And then if you guys haven't gotten it yet, if you guys are in a long-term relationship or in a marriage and your girl's just not that into you anymore, and if you get sex at all, it's like once a week, once a month, right? If you're lucky, there's some guys that they haven't gotten it in 13 years. I see that on TikTok all the time. These guys are like, I haven't had it in 13 years from my wife. Like, what are you doing, dude? Why do you let it go so long? Man, guys, if you haven't had it in a couple of months, book a fucking call with me. All right. Book a call with me, or at least get the book, Get Her to Fuck You Again. You can get that on books.comeonmanpod.com. Let me play a commercial for that, and then we'll get back to the topic today.
Are you tired of the dead bedroom? Wondering what happened to the passion, the connection, and the spark? Well, here's your answer. Introducing Get Her to Fuck You Again, a red pill guide to fix a dead bedroom, now on Amazon. This isn't about manipulation or tricks. It's about real strategies that work. If your wife has stopped being intimate with you, it's not because the love is gone. It's because the attraction is gone. And that's fixable. This book will teach you the skills to lead your marriage, rebuild your confidence, and become the man she can't stop thinking about. 3 reasons to get this book. 1. It breaks the cycle. You'll learn how to stop doing the same things that are killing her attraction and start doing the things that reignite it. 2. It's practical and proven. With clear, actionable steps, you'll build yourself into the man you were always meant to be. 3. It works for men like you. Paul Bauer has helped hundreds of men just like you fix their dead bedrooms. And now, it's your turn. Don't let another day go by feeling frustrated and disconnected. Go to Amazon right now and buy Get Her to Fuck You Again. Read it, apply it, and watch your marriage transform. The connection isn't gone forever. You just need the roadmap to get it back. And this book is it.
Damn right. Let's see, we got a bunch of people watching live right now. We got John Egan in the house. He's Wolfpack brother. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. John, another John from Wolfpack. Hey, yo, we're doing it live. He's our resident Fed. Let's see here. Erkin says, good day, folks. Is it let's see, we got Will in the house. He's a new Wolfpack brother. He says, good morning, brothers. Eric Son says, I give up on fucking YouTube. It's always interrupting with ads. All right, watch it on X then. That's cool, man. That's cool. I'll tell you what, if you guys are get better at sending super chats during the lives, I'll turn off ads for the lives. It's just that it's hit or miss with the super chats, and the brother's got to make a living, okay? And then Nurse Chick's in the house. Nurse Chick, you weren't the first to comment this morning. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. She gets this
so
one.
naughty.
I'm gonna come.
Yeah, she's at work first thing in the morning, you know, so she can't. I'm just busting her non-existent ovaries. All right, she's Netflix and ibuprofen was a new concept for me. What? Netflix and ibuprofen? Is that like Netflix and chill, but when you're older and you have knee pain? Okay. All right. All right, let's talk about this. What women really want, right? They want mystery. They want that anticipation. They want that emotional immersion. They want this to be a total experience for them. And usually when you're first together and you're first dating, it's just like that by default with a new relationship. It's like that, what do they call that? That out of town strange, right? That new dick. She's all excited about it. It's all like in her mind, she's already building up these fantasies about you in her mind. Okay. But then after a while, it just gets boring and routine, and you stop doing all the sexy stuff that you were doing in the beginning. And now she's going to create that somewhere else, right? Here's the thing. Here's one of the things that I learned studying this stuff is that women want to feel like, they want to pretend like they're living in a romantic sex novel story. Okay. So your job is to create that experience for them. And by default, that's how it feels in the beginning. And then it just slowly erodes over time when you stop being that attractive character. Now here's something that you also want to keep in mind. In almost all of these like rom-coms, romantic movies and dramas and stuff like that, what's really going on? It's usually a woman's in a relationship and she's not fulfilled in it, and she finds some new exciting guy that is more exciting for her, and she goes off and leaves the guy she's with the new exciting guy. Right? It's usually a story about cheating. It's hypergamy, right? Look at Titanic. Titanic, she was engaged to the rich guy that she ended up settling with, but she went and cheated with the poor artist guy on the ship, right? She ended up banging that guy, and then she murdered him by not letting him on the the piece of floating debris that there was plenty of room for. Okay, to hide the evidence. But then she pined and yearned for him for 80 years, right? 84 years. But that's what it is. So if you're in a relationship right now with her and you're not still emotionally stimulating her and giving her that fantasy and that, stuff to look forward to, she's going to start looking for, the artist guy on the ship. That's what she's going to do. Fantasy is a form of storytelling, okay? Storytelling is kind of cool because it bypasses logic. It goes straight to the emotional brain. Why do you think I've been telling you guys parables lately in every episode? Okay? It bypasses your conscious brain, goes right into your subconscious. So you come to the conclusions on your own. If you want your girl to get all hot and bothered and associate that sexy feeling with you, this is how you do it. You do it through fantasy. You give her something exciting to look forward to. I had a whole episode a couple months back about truck sex and how you got to bang your girl in your truck. Well, on the way home from brother Dan's house yesterday, Nurse Chick and I, when we were coming up on Eagle, Colorado, we had to pull off to the side of the road and have some have some truck sex. Yeah, you got to do that, right? You got to that kind of activity, where it's not just boring and you go to bed at 10 o'clock at night every night after you've been watched Yellowstone on Netflix, and like that's just what you do. You got to add some spontaneity and exciting stuff where you're doing fun stuff like that. So she stays, interested. She's like, man, this is so fun being with this guy. He's so exciting. He does these exciting things, like bangs me in the truck. True story. Anyway, lack of fantasy. A lack of fantasy equals a lack of attention. Your woman feels unseen, unheard, untouched. You're just, like I said, she ends up looking at this like it's duty. It's just another chore, another checkbox, another something for her to do. One of the brothers in Wolfpack was going through this. He was saying like it was building a lot of resentment too. And I'll tell you what, if you have any kind of resentment for your girl, it's going to be a hard time fixing your dead bedroom situation because you're so up in your own emotions that anything that might help you, you're going to get mad about. That I even have to do this? Fuck that. Right. Well, anyway, this guy was having this resentment because his wife was still having sex with him, but it was like once a week, like it was another checkbox. And when we finally, explained to him that you've got to seduce your girl, you've got to be proactive and less reactive. What he ended up doing, because what his wife was doing was putting their son to sleep every night, and she was in mom mode. She was in mom mode, and like you got to get her out of mom mode, right? So what he ended up doing was he took charge of putting their son to sleep, took that off her plate, so that he could set the tone and start being, more proactive with this stuff. And he ended up fucking her to sleep the other night. Like, my man, good work. But everything, if without that fantasy, without that seduction process, and you always doing these things to actively seduce your girl, it becomes mechanical and boring. It's not fulfilling at all for her. Now it's work for her. And then you guys wonder, like, well, it's her duty, though. It's her duty as a wife, okay? The Bible says it's her duty, and I don't know why she doesn't enjoy it. Well, if you look at it like it's her job, like no one likes doing a fucking job, okay? You've got to make it a fun experience for her. And then she's going to enjoy it. Then she's going to look forward to it. It's going to create that healthy emotional anticipation and tension, that tension being sexual tension, right? You've got to create that experience for her. Speaking of storytelling and fantasy, I have a story for you. Imagine your relationship as a fireplace. In the beginning, it's brand new, the kind of fireplace you can't wait to sit beside. There's firewood stacked high, dry, perfect logs, just waiting to burn. Every glance, every touch, every night together is a spark. It's easy. You don't think about starting the fire. It just happens. That first kiss, boom, flame. The first time you tore each other's clothes off, that's a whole damn bonfire. It was passionate, right? And for a while, that heat is consistent. You're burning through that wood like there's no tomorrow. The conversations are deep, the sex is spontaneous, and even silence feels intimate. The world disappears when you're with her. That fireplace, it's alive. But here's what nobody tells you. Every log you burn doesn't magically reappear. Every wild night, every can't keep my hands off you moment, that's firewood. It gets used up. And if you're not paying attention, one day you wake up and the fire's gone and you're staring into cold ash, wondering what the fuck happened. Now you're having date night because your calendar says it's time. Now sex happens in the same position, on the same nights, with the same rhythm. It's not that you stopped loving each other, it's that you stopped gathering wood. You see, passion isn't a one-time gift. It's fuel. And fantasy, emotional, erotic, immersive fantasy, is how you gather more wood. It's how you bring life back into something that feels routine. It's what tells her, I see you as wild, as desirable, as mine. Without fantasy, your fireplace becomes decorative. It looks nice, but it doesn't give off any heat. And heat, raw, sexual, emotional heat, is what keeps the relationship alive. Not the bills you pay or the vacations you plan. The heat, the thrill, the mystery. Now, some guys wait for that heat to magically come back on its own. Spoiler alert, it won't. Others throw lighter fluid on it with drama or arguments just to feel something. Usually women do that. But the men who master this, they learn to stack their own wood, to gather fantasy, build anticipation, create erotic tension. They make it a ritual. And in doing so, they turn a dying fire into a raging blaze again and again. So the question is, are you starting at ashes, or are you building a fire worth coming home to? While you ponder that, I have another question. What do you guys think that question is? Who wants to run with the wolves, brother?
Bear Club? Not anymore.
Home, midlife drift, feeling alone. You don't need hacks, blogs, lies. You need men with fire in their eyes. We rebuild from the ground up. No excuses, no soft stuff. Telegram lit 24/7. Brothers locked in steel, not ever. Step inside the pack. We don't fall, we attack. Truth, fire, presence, we bring it back. Masculine pride, no time to slack. Step inside the pack. Drop your past, claim your track. No therapy talk, no playing small. We sharpen blades, we take it all.
Yeah, brother. Join the Wolf Pack. This Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern time is our monthly pack hangout where all the guys get together. We talk about guy stuff. It's a good time. If you guys have any, any questions or dating or relationship advice, it's a good place to bring it to the pack because we're all on the call together talking about our lives and whatnot. But otherwise, it's not heavy. It's just fun. It's just fun to connect with like-minded guys, once a month. The real value in Wolf Pack is in the Telegram group, but the monthly call is always fun. It's always fun. A lot of guys look forward to the monthly call. And then, guys, if you want to work with me directly, book a call by going to call.fixdeadbedrooms.com. All right. It's an hour-long breakthrough and battle plan session. And if you have been wanting to work with me and you just keep thinking about it, stop thinking about it. Okay. Just book a call. All right. Let's see here. Where are we at? We want to put this back up, I think. There we go. All right, guys. Framework for integrating fantasy into your sex life. Well, you got to have awareness. You got to understand your girl's erotic blueprint, right? You've got to be constantly paying attention to your girl. One of the things that I learned along the way is this idea of an attraction scale. Okay. Anything below a 5 on the attraction scale, your girl's gone. She's mentally checked out. She's no longer attracted to you, and you're basically you're barking up the wrong tree. Usually she's already on her way out, or she's cheating on you, or she's looking to monkey branch with, bill and accounting or whatever. But if anything above a 5, you have a chance. You have a chance, especially if your relationship's been going downhill for a while. If you're looking at her and she's still, you would say she's probably around the 5 or 6, you have a shot. You have a shot of fixing this, okay? But you got to understand your girl's erotic blueprint, from clues, communication, observation, just watching how she's acting and treating you. Right. A lot of things that we tell guys in the space is don't listen to what women say, watch what they do, pay attention to their actions, not their words. Because if they are not that attracted to you anymore, they might still say they are to spare your feelings. Women are very cognizant of men's feelings, and they don't want to hurt your feelings. So they'll say one thing and do another. So forget what they say, just pay attention to her actions. If she says, "Oh, I'm so madly in love with you and I still love you," and all this kind of stuff, and she only fucks you like once a week or once a month, what's her action saying there? She's not that into you anymore. Okay. If she was really into you, she would want to bang your brains out all the time. She would be insatiable. Yes. Yes. Okay. If she was never that way, she was probably never into you. Okay. There's some guys who have come to me for dead bedroom coaching, and their wives have never really been that into them. It's just like their wives were totally settling. They were looking for somebody to settle down with, like a good beta provider type guy. And their wives were just never that into sex and stuff. It's like, and then a lot of them, they said that they put a ring on it, hoping to make things better. Like that never makes things better. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Ask any married guy. Putting a ring on it kills that sexual passion, man. You want to know why? It was because that competition anxiety in their mind is gone. That's why. And a lot of guys will do anything to try to squash their wife's competition anxiety. If their wife brings up, "Hey, you might be cheating," or whatever, they'll say, "No, honey, I would never do that to you. I'd never do that." Right? Even if you wouldn't, you can't say that, because killing that competition anxiety is the first thing that kills her sexual desire for you. If she's like, "Oh, I can literally do anything and this guy won't walk away," well then, why am I having sex with this guy I don't even want to have sex with? Right? Yeah. Putting a ring on it, if she's already not that sexually into you, isn't going to make it better, bro. It's not. Okay. But you've got to understand your girl's erotic blueprint. Okay. And you get that just by paying attention. You get that by just keeping an eye on her actions. Okay. That's why when you understand the concept of the attraction scale, you want to be lovingly detached enough to where you keep an eye on that sort of thing. Otherwise, what guys tend to do is they fall into routine themselves. They fall into complacency. They get wife goggles on. They're so in love with their wife. They're just not paying attention anymore. And next thing you know, she's handing divorce papers to you, and you feel like you're blindsided, but it's been going on for like 2 years. It happens. That's very common. So snap out of complacency, start paying attention to her actions. And then now you need to adjust as necessary, right? Dominance, being dominant in all areas of your life, but particularly in the bedroom, is really attractive to women. You want to lead with confidence in all areas of your life, especially when you're setting the tone and leading your relationship. Most women are dying to be led into that fantasy. If you guys ever read the book Unleash Your Sexual Superpowers by Eric Everhart, my friend Eric Everhart, he talks about this. Like, women want to be led into the bedroom. You got to look at the whole sexual experience like you're an artist and she's your canvas and you are painting the kind of picture you want to paint. She wants you to set the tone and lead in the bedroom. But most guys are like, "Why won't she initiate? Why won't she tell me what she wants to do in the bedroom?" Like, don't ask her what she wants to do in the bedroom. Set the tone and lead. Put her in the positions you want to put her in. Okay. If she wants to get into a particular position and do something, she'll let you know. But otherwise, put her where you want to put her. Okay. It also helps if you understand women's anatomy and what turns them on, what stimulates them. You understand that their clitoris is really, their clitoris and their G-spot are like the number one things to make sure that you're stimulating. And the way you stimulate the G-spot, you're not often not hitting it at the right angle. You know what I mean? Like there's a reason why they make these specialized sex cushions, right? That are like angled to lift her hips up so that when you're going in, you're hitting that G-spot, because the G-spot's up and behind where the clitoris is. So in order to hit that with your penis, going straight in isn't necessarily hitting that spot, but curving her hips up, you're hitting that spot, and that's going to stimulate that more. You don't have to go buy specialty pillows. Just get your normal pillows and prop her hips up. That'll often do it. Okay. Pushing her legs back behind her ears lifts her hips up. That often does it too. Okay. Bend her into a fucking pretzel. Telling you. Thank me later. Structure. Role play scenarios. Dominant energy. Psychological frames. Spontaneous acts. Truck sex, right? That's a spontaneous act. That kind of stuff gets her fantasy going, right? The public sex in public like that, even when it's still private because it's in your truck and no one's really going to see, just the idea that you might get caught is sexually stimulating for women. They're like, oh my God, this is so dirty. I can't believe we're doing this, right? Nurse Chick and I, we went off on this secluded road in Eagle, Colorado, off on this dirt road, and we found like a pull-off. No one was seeing us out there. We did have one car drive by, but no one could see what was going on in the truck. Or could they? I don't know. But that kind of thing, right? Like, so I'll tell you how that went down in the car. We're driving in a truck, and I'm just looking over, and Nurse Chick was wearing this tank top, and her cleavage was magnificent. And I'm just looking over at her, and I just start reaching over, and I just start diddling her bean like through her pants. And she's like, "Babe, what are you doing?" You know. And I was like, "Shh, don't worry about it," you know. And I'm just playing with that stuff, and then she starts, you know, looking over at me, and so then I reach over and I just start unbuttoning her pants, you know, and then I reach into her pants and I start diddling her bean for real, right? And then I pulled away and stopped doing that kind of stuff, and then she reaches over and starts grabbing my crotch, and then I was like, "Hun, we gotta go. I'm gonna go find us a place to pull off." And just the, you know, building that anticipation up. By the time we pulled off the side of the road, she was like ripping her clothes off. You know what I mean? But that anticipation, that energy, like I'm proactively trying to do that kind of stuff, especially on road trips, because it's just fun to do. But if you want to create these role-playing scenarios, you can do this. You don't have to go on a road trip to do this kind of stuff. You can do this in your bedroom just by telling stories, right? You can just say, hey, pretend that you're a cheerleader and I'm like the high school football captain, you know, and just start telling her the story and like whispering in her ear and all this kind of stuff, and getting her to like imagine this scenario where she's the, you know, the head cheerleader and she's being seduced by the quarterback of the football team. You know, like you could do this kind of stuff. It's fun for women. They like doing this kind of thing. Your voice and your words, your tone, your language, eye contact, that can heighten that sexual arousal. Use the left ear and the left eye tricks. I talk about those a lot, but they're the same concept. Okay. The left eye trick I learned from David Data. The left ear trick I learned from Alan Roger Curry. Is the same thing. When you whisper dirty things into your girl's left ear, the left ears connect to the right part of the brain. The right part of the brain is not just the emotional part of the brain, but that's where sexual inhibitions are. You got to think of it like this. When you're watching cartoons and stuff like that, the angel's always on the right shoulder and the devil's always on the left shoulder. Why is the devil always on the left shoulder? Because it's in the left ear, and that's where the inhibitions are, because it connects to the right part of the brain. Okay. So when you're whispering in her left ear, it's like you're the devil on her shoulder telling her to do dirty, naughty things, and that makes her want to do it more. she's going to start listening to that devil on her shoulder going, yeah, I want to do those dirty things. Okay. When you're actually in the act, when you're in the middle of it too, while you're whispering dirty things in her ear, you also want to start making eye contact with her in her left eye. Do the left eye trick while you're in the act of sex with her. It'll change the game for you. It'll completely change the game for you. Because imagine this, for you guys out there that try out the left eye trick, and you guys do that on dates, you know, and when you're talking to a girl and you're looking in her left eye, this eye, for those looking at the camera, this eye, and you're sending those sexual thoughts to her, and it's palpable for her, and she's feeling seduced on the date, and is building that rapport and that sexual attraction. Imagine doing it in the middle of the sex act. You will own her soul when you do that. Okay. The environment's important. You want to use props if you have them, lighting, music, toys if you got them. If you don't have them, go get them. You want to create a set, not just a bedroom, right? Costumes, that would be fun. On Halloween, why is Halloween so fun for girls, right? They're total prudes, you know, all year long, and then on Halloween it's like they have permission to dress like slutty everything, and everything's slutty. There's a slutty version of everything, right? Slutty nurse costume, slutty Indian costume, slutty cowgirl costume, slutty cop costume. Everything's slutty, right? Well, imagine on Halloween when she's in her slutty costume, how much fun that sex would be when you role play her being a slutty cop, right? Like that would be fun for her. Okay. Make up scenarios. Like I said before, make up the scenario where, you know, she's a cheerleader and you're the captain of the football team. Like that kind of stuff's fun to do. Use seduction layering. Build up tension, drop surprises, create anticipation arcs. Do a lot of 2 steps forward, 1 step back. What is that? That's where you do a lot of like kino escalation during the day. You walk up behind her and you touch her, and then you pull back a little bit, right? You don't just keep it up. Have you ever tried to do seduction in the moment and your wife's just not having it, or your girlfriend's just not having it in the moment? A lot of guys mess up with this. They try to like do this stuff in the moment, and it doesn't necessarily work. You don't have to. Don't try to necessarily bang her in the kitchen right there. Just go up behind her and create some anticipation, because that anticipation is going to create mind-blowing sex, you know, in an hour or 2 or 3. Okay. But here's some real talk for you. Okay. This isn't something that you get from a podcast alone. You need immersion, right? My book, Get Her to Fuck You Again. I have a whole chapter on rebuilding physical intimacy. My book walks you through the mindset, techniques, and scenarios for stuff like this. But my coaching helps you personalize this for your relationship dynamic, your personal relationship dynamic. Everyone's relationship dynamics are different. Okay. So that way you're not just out there spinning your wheels, testing stuff out and seeing what sticks. Okay. Like, let's book a call with me. Let's walk through this. We could walk through a specific scenario for you and create a battle plan for you. All right. So book a call with me when you're ready for that. Until then, if you still want to just read books, grab Get Her to Fuck You Again. Okay. Guys, if you got value from this episode, do be sure to share it with a friend who needs to hear this. Comment below if you guys are watching the replay with some of the things that you do to keep that fantasy alive in your relationship. If you guys are watching live right now, what are some things that you do with your girl to keep that spice going? What I know some, especially guys in the wolf pack that have been there for a long time, you guys aren't just doing scheduled duty sex, right? Like what are some things that make things spicy in your relationship? Drop a comment there. Okay. Other than that, that's pretty much all we got for this episode. Shorter episode than usual, but that's okay. I got a lot of things to do today, and I got to record Wednesday's episode later. If tune into the podcast Wednesday. It will be pre-recorded because, like I said before, I'm having knee surgery to take care of my torn meniscus. But we're going to be talking about why your date strategy screams low value. What you're doing right now is coming across as low value, which is probably why you're not getting a lot of success out there. It's going to be based on my developing game chapter in Forget That Bitch, which recently came out. If you guys have gone through a breakup or you're going through a divorce right now, and you need to move on and you're spinning your wheels on the dating circuit and you're thinking, dating sucks. Maybe I'll just try to get my ex back. Grab Forget That Bitch. Go to books.comeonmanpod.com. You'll find all my books there. But I have a whole chapter on developing game, and that's what we're going to be talking about on Wednesday. So if dating sucks for you right now, you're going to love that episode, even though it's pre-recorded. What do we got in the chat right now? Let's see here. John says random times, places, read My Secret Garden for ideas of fantasies she might have and try to make them available. Yes, the left eye trick does work. Hey, Viking Paradigms in the house. What's up, brother? All right, guys. If you guys haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, hit those notifications. I do have new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday without fail, even if I have to pre-record them. This isn't pre-recorded, though. We're live right now. Thanks for everyone that started off in the live chat. I appreciate you. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. I didn't see any super chats today. That's okay. When you guys don't send super chats, I don't get demonetized. But it does piss off guys like what's his name? Eric Zahn. He doesn't like the ads. Okay, well, send more super chats and we'll have less ads. All right. Let's see what else do we got here. Get the free ebook. She's Made You Weak. The link's there in the description. Grab the full book. Get her to fuck you again at books.comeonmanpod.com. Join Wolfpack. We're having our meetup this Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Join with a free trial. You get 7 days free. Join. Show up for the call on Thursday. If you like it, stay in the group. If you don't, no harm, no foul. Okay, it's not for everybody. And then, guys, book a call with me by going to call.fixdeadbedrooms.com. That's all we got. We will see you guys on Wednesday.
This has been the Come On Man podcast. Now, go out and get it.